Have you ever noticed something strange about heroes? The ones destined for greatness, the prophesied saviors, the chosen ones, they never have it easy. In fact, their paths seem deliberately designed to break them. Why is that? Think about every legendary figure you know. From ancient myths to modern stories, the pattern repeats: those marked by destiny carry burdens that would crush ordinary people. They lose more, sacrifice more, and suffer more than anyone around them. What's the purpose behind this suffering? Is it just cruel fate, or is there something deeper at work, a hidden design behind the agony? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of life's darkest mysteries: why those chosen for greatness must walk through hell to get there. I'm going to share 7 reasons why the path of the chosen one is paved with suffering, and by the end, you might see your own struggles in a completely different light. Let's begin. 1. The crushing weight of expectations. Imagine waking up one day and discovering that millions of people are depending on you. Not just hoping you'll succeed, depending on your success for their very survival. Their hopes, their dreams, their future, all resting on your shoulders. That's the reality for every chosen one. From the moment their destiny is revealed, they become something more than human in the eyes of others. They transform into a symbol, a beacon of hope in humanity's darkest hour. Ancient prophecies speak their name. Divine forces mark them as special. The universe itself seems to single them out for a grand purpose. But here's what no one talks about: that pedestal everyone places them on. It's incredibly lonely up there. And one wrong step means a devastating fall. 2. The paradox of predetermined destiny. Here's where things get philosophically dark. Destiny is supposed to be a gift, right? Knowing you're meant for something great, having a clear purpose, understanding your role in the grand design, sounds comforting. And in some ways, it is. The chosen one doesn't have to wonder what their life means. The universe has already answered that question. But there's a terrible catch. If your path is already written in the stars, do your choices actually matter? If ancient prophecies foretold your journey thousands of years ago, are you really making decisions, or just following a script? Where does fate end and free will begin? This is the paradox that torments every chosen one. The very thing that gives their life meaning also strips away their agency. Every fork in the road feels predetermined. Every choice seems like an illusion. They're left wondering, am I actually choosing this path, or am I just a puppet dancing on destiny's strings? It's an existential crisis that never fully resolves. The chosen one becomes acutely aware that they're living a life not entirely their own. Their dreams, their desires, their personal aspirations, all secondary to a cosmic plan laid out before they were born. They might have wanted to be an artist, a teacher, a parent who watches their children grow. Instead, they're thrust into a hero's journey they never asked for. The psychological toll is immense. Imagine knowing that your every significant action was predicted centuries ago. That somewhere, written in ancient texts, is the story of your greatest triumph and your most devastating failure. How do you maintain a sense of self when your entire life is essentially predetermined? Yet within this paradox, the strongest chosen ones find an unexpected truth: even if the path is set, how they walk it remains their choice. Destiny may write the destination, but attitude, courage, compassion, and determination, these remain theirs to control. They learn to embrace the paradox. To accept that while they may be bound by fate, they are not imprisoned by it. In this acceptance, they discover a strange freedom, the freedom to choose how they fulfill their destiny, even if they cannot choose the destiny itself. 3. Living under constant threat. Normal people go home at night and feel safe. The chosen one never knows that luxury. From the moment their destiny is revealed, they become a target. Dark forces mobilize against them. Powerful enemies emerge from the shadows. Evil itself takes notice and begins plotting their downfall. Every journey becomes dangerous. Every city might hide assassins. Every friendly face could be a spy. Every meal could be poisoned. Every shadow might conceal a blade meant for their back. The psychological warfare is just as brutal as physical danger. The chosen one lives knowing that somewhere, powerful forces are working tirelessly to destroy them. They can't ever fully relax. Can't ever completely let their guard down. Sleep becomes difficult when nightmares blend seamlessly with real threats. And the enemies? They're not just powerful, they're relentless. Malevolent sorcerers who've spent lifetimes perfecting dark magic. Ancient evils that have destroyed kingdoms. Ruthless tyrants with armies at their command. Each adversary is formidable, cunning, and utterly determined to prevent the chosen one from fulfilling their destiny. Every confrontation is a brush with death. Every battle leaves scars, some visible, others etched deep in the soul. The chosen one collects wounds like others collect memories, constantly, painfully, unavoidably. But it's not just the danger itself that wears them down. It's the constancy of it. The never-ending vigilance. The inability to ever truly rest. Imagine living every day knowing that today might be the day everything ends, that this morning's sunrise might be your last. The toll on their spirit is staggering. They become hardened by necessity, losing pieces of their innocence with each battle. Paranoia becomes a survival skill. Trust becomes a luxury they can barely afford. 4. Sacrifice upon sacrifice. If you want to understand the chosen one's suffering, look at what they've given up. Most people build lives around personal happiness, careers they enjoy, relationships they cherish, dreams they pursue. The chosen one. They sacrifice all of it on destiny's altar. Maybe they had someone they loved, a partner, a family, friends who felt like home. Gone. Sacrificed to keep them safe or abandoned to pursue a quest that allows no room for personal attachments. The chosen one learns that everyone they love becomes a target, a weakness enemies will exploit. So they walk away. They break their own heart to protect others. They endure the agony of isolation, knowing that distance is the only gift they can give to those they care about. And the sacrifices don't stop there. Dreams of a normal life. Abandoned. Hopes for peace and happiness. Deferred indefinitely, maybe forever. Personal ambitions. Completely irrelevant in the face of cosmic responsibility. Everything they might have wanted for themselves becomes secondary to what the world needs from them. But it gets worse. The chosen one doesn't just sacrifice their own happiness, they're forced to watch others sacrifice too. Loyal friends fall in battle. Innocent people die because they stood too close to the chosen one's path. Every loss carves another hole in their soul, another weight added to their already crushing burden. They become intimately familiar with survivors' guilt. Why them and not me, haunts their quiet moments. Each death feels like their fault, their responsibility. They carry the weight of every sacrifice made on their behalf, every life lost in service of their mission. The grief is enormous and never-ending. There's no time to properly mourn because the quest continues. The world keeps needing saving. New battles emerge before old wounds heal. So the chosen one buries their pain deep, stacking loss upon loss like stones in a cairn, marking everyone who fell along the way. Yet even broken-hearted and bleeding, they press forward. Because stopping means every previous sacrifice was in vain. The only way to honor the fallen is to finish the mission, to ensure their deaths meant something. So they carry on, bearing not just their own suffering but the accumulated weight of every sacrifice made in service of their destiny. 5. The Existential Crisis. Late at night, when battles are won and enemies temporarily defeated, the chosen one faces their greatest challenge, themselves. Questions emerge from the depths of their consciousness like demons from the void. Who am I, really? Am I the person I choose to be, or just a character in a story written long before my birth? When I make decisions, are they truly mine, or just fate wearing the mask of free will? This existential burden crushes many chosen ones more effectively than any physical enemy. They're trapped in a philosophical prison of cosmic proportions. On one side, they see their destiny, clear, defined, supposedly inevitable. On the other, they feel their own consciousness, their desires, their sense of individual identity. Reconciling these two realities becomes an internal war with no clear victor. If I'm truly chosen, they wonder, then I never really had a choice. And if I never had a choice, am I even real? Am I just destiny's puppet, given consciousness only to better play my predetermined role? The more they think about it, the worse it gets. Every act of courage might just be scripted heroism. Every moment of growth might be nothing more than plot development in a cosmic narrative they didn't write. Even their suffering might be predetermined, their pain just another required scene in destiny's grand production. This realization can break people. The chosen one grapples with feelings of unreality, questioning everything about their existence. Are their emotions genuine or manufactured? Are their relationships real or simply necessary plot devices? Does anything they do actually matter if it was all going to happen anyway? Some chosen ones fall into nihilism, believing nothing they do matters. Others rage against the machine, trying desperately to make choices that prove they're more than destiny's plaything. But the wisest ones? They find something profound in the paradox. They realize that even if the path is set, the person walking it still matters. That consciousness itself, even if predetermined, is real and meaningful. That suffering is not diminished by being destined, if anything, it proves their humanity. They come to understand that perhaps the question isn't whether they have free will, but whether they'll embrace their role with grace or resentment. And in that choice, authentic or not, they find their truth. Conclusion. So why do the chosen ones suffer so profoundly? Because greatness demands it. Because transformation requires fire. Because the weight of saving the world cannot rest on weak shoulders, and strength is forged only through adversity. Their suffering isn't meaningless punishment from a cruel universe. It's the refining process, the necessary trial that transforms ordinary people into legendary heroes capable of bearing impossible burdens. Every expectation that crushes them teaches them strength. Every predetermined step that frustrates them teaches them wisdom. Every threat that terrifies them teaches them courage. Every sacrifice that breaks their heart teaches them what truly matters. Every existential crisis teaches them who they really are. Every moment of isolation teaches them self-reliance. Every terrible truth they learn teaches them clarity. The chosen one doesn't suffer despite being chosen, they suffer because they're chosen. Their pain serves a greater purpose, preparing them for the moment when everything depends on them being strong enough, wise enough, brave enough to do what no one else can do. And here's the final truth, their journey is a mirror for all of us. We all face impossible expectations, constrained choices, constant threats, devastating losses, existential questions, profound loneliness, and terrible knowledge we wish we could unlearn. Maybe we're not prophesied heroes, but we're all fighting battles others can't see, carrying burdens others can't understand. The chosen one's story reminds us that suffering isn't evidence of being broken, sometimes it's evidence of becoming who you're meant to be. That the hardest paths often lead to the most meaningful destinations. That the greatest transformations require the deepest pain. So if you're walking through hell right now, maybe you're not cursed. Maybe you're being prepared. Maybe your suffering is shaping you into someone capable of extraordinary things.